Today we're revealing 10 Pokemon cards that you can still pick up for less than $10. But watch out because they are set to skyrocket in price. Focusing on secondary chase cards from recent expansions, we can find hidden gems that could become serious and expensive collectibles in the future. If you're hunting for budget cards with great potential, stay until the end of the video because the last card I mentioned here is, for me, the best in the market in this price range. The first card of this list is Feebas Illustration Rare from Surging Sparks. This is a beautiful card that goes for around $10 right now, and it's part of the evolution line between Feebas and Milotic, which is actually an SIR featuring also in Surging Sparks. Now, Milotic is a very desired Pokemon from the Generation 3, my favorite gen, and I know a lot of you too. I guess people from my age just love Gen 3 because we started right there, and that will make this card pretty desirable. The good thing about this card is that it's part of a two-piece set, which I really like. You can see Feebas swimming under the water, and you can see Milotic is just getting out of the water, just representing this kind of story between the two. The Milotic card is pretty expensive right now, it's about $160, and I think this card will just be graded with the Milotic as being part of a set and will be really desirable in the future. Also, we have to talk about Surging Sparks because the set is going absolutely crazy. Packs are really expensive for this set, so I think it's expected to predict that these kind of cheap cards still will be pretty pricey in the future when the booster box just keep rising in price inevitably because the set is really good. Surging Sparks booster boxes are about $250 right now, but I expect them to be higher. Same as this card, I expect it to grow in price in the future. Guys, if you want to enter the giveaway of the Neo Discovery Umbreon pack, the only things you have to do is like, comment and subscribe. I will announce the winner at 10,000 subscribers. And since we cannot afford in this price range of $10 to just put in the Milotic we were talking about, we will talk about Milotic from Silver Tempest, this trainer card that is absolutely gorgeous. You can just see Milotic displayed there, swimming with Wallace. This is an absolutely amazing card. It's super cheap, it's only going for $4. It comes from Silver Tempest, which is a set that it's actually rising in price too a lot lately. I think booster boxes right now are going for around $250 too. And I think it has a beautiful trainer gallery. Of course, a lot of the trainer gallery cards are pretty cheap because they are not that desirable Pokemons or trainers, but I think Milotic from Wallace is absolutely amazing. It represents the champion of Pokemon Emerald, so it's kind of iconic. The card looks absolutely beautiful. I don't really like the yellow borders, I have to be completely honest. I think it would look so much better if it was just a full art. But apart from that, the art is absolutely amazing. I think it will go up in price. I think Silver Tempest is a great set and it will keep rising too. So I think $4 for this card near mint is pretty good, and I think it's a great pickup for under $10. The number 3 of this list is Zacian V from Astral Radiance. Now, same as the other two sets we've talked about, Astral Radiance is getting pretty pricey right now. It's sitting around $230 per booster box, and of course it's a set that is so way out of print that we won't get anymore. So I expect the booster box to keep growing in price. I also expect the cards inside like these that are absolutely beautiful to keep rising in price too. Now, quick pause here. This Zacian has grown a lot in price lately with a really short period of time. You know, these videos take a lot of time to put together, and this card can be more than $10 right now. Maybe you have to pay like 14 or 15, but I still see sales for about $10 to $12, so I decided to just keep it on this list, and the reason is because it's absolutely beautiful. I think this card represents really well the whole Sword and Shield era. I'm not a big fan of the two legendaries of Zacian and Zamazenta, but I think the card looks really good. You can see the boy just trying to give him the sword or something. I don't know the name of the boy, not a big fan of the last generations, but I think the card looks absolutely amazing. The art is so good. I think it's still a great pickup, even if you have to pay 14 or 15 by the publishing of this video, but I think it's really a great pick. I love Astral Radiance. I think that booster box is really undervalued, so I expect really high growth for this card. Now, if we talk about beautiful trainer cards, we have to mention two more in this list. The first one is Gardevoir from Silver Tempest. For me, this card is one of the most underrated cards in this list because it's only going for about $3. I know this card is kind of easy to pull, but as I said before, Silver Tempest is getting super expensive, so I wouldn't expect a lot of these cards to enter the market or anything. I think this is a beautiful piece for your collection, and I think for $3 this is just a bargain. It's sitting there with the champion of the 6th gen. I think that's the X and Y champion. Gardevoir also is a fan favorite Pokemon. Maybe not for the good reasons. If you know, you know, but I think Gardevoir is really famous. It's of course an icon for Gen 3 lovers. And I think this card will perform really well. I think $3 is just... I actually might pick some copies of this card. First because I love it, and second because I think just... if you want to watch it grow in price, it's just a great opportunity. And the last trainer card I want to mention is Charizard from Lost Origin. Now, this card is pretty special because, one, it features the most popular Pokemon of all time, Charizard, and of course, it's coming from Lost Origin, which, as some of you may already know, the booster box has gone absolutely crazy and it's about $350 or something stupid like that. So it's getting really pricey to open these packs to get these cards inside. Again, trainer cards are kind of easy to get, but I think Charizard will be really desired. The PSA 10 of this card is going for a lot of money too, so I'm guessing like a lot of people will just try to buy them to grade it and try to get a profit, or just to get a beautiful piece in their collections. Both respectable. Always just check the photos, just buy a real near mint copy in case you want to grade it in the future, or just in case you want to trade it with someone else in the future, because a good quality card is worth paying like $2 or $3 more for sure. So definitely keep an eye on this. Again, Lost Origin is going crazy in price, so I think this card will just follow the same trend. I think it's actually raising in price right now, so definitely keep an eye on it. Now, to wrap this list up, I would like to add some beautiful illustration rares from the Scarlet and Violet era that I think are absolutely undervalued, and the first one is Great Tusk EX. Now, this is not an illustration rare, but a special illustration rare, which means it's really hard to pull. I understand Great Tusk is not like the best Pokemon of all time, but if you look at this art, for me it looks absolutely beautiful. He's on a desert, you can see like a sandstorm behind him. The colors are really, really good. For $8, I think this is a great pickup. Now, Scarlet and Violet base was really rejected by the fans when it came out, and it was just sitting at around $80 to $90 for months and months. But we have to understand that there's a lot of people just joining the hobby, buying these cheaper booster boxes right now that, by the way, they probably are around $140 to $150. If you live in Europe, maybe $120, but these boxes are actually getting more expensive right now. And you see, since there is a lot of new collectors that just want to open some packs and don't want to pay these crazy prices for some sets we mentioned before, like Lost Origin, Surging Sparks, that is like 2 or 3 times the amount of these booster boxes, they will just buy these products, collect some of these cards, try to master set these cheaper sets, which I think it's a great idea, by the way. If you're starting, you'll probably see that Scizor, what's the name of the starter? Scizor from Paldea Evolved has grown a lot in price. It was in 2 of my these cheaper card videos, and it actually hit the spot because honestly that card was so underrated and it has grown a lot in price. So compared to that, it's not a starter, but it's one of the Paradox Pokemon that are kind of popular for the Scarlet and Violet era. So definitely check this card out, $8, great deal. And before moving on, Scarlet and Violet base, I want to mention another illustration rare that is really beautiful. This is a personal favorite of mine, and it's Starly illustration rare. This card looks so cute. You can see a bunch of Starlys just hanging out together. I'm super nostalgic of Gen 4, and I know I'm biased to this, but at the same time, I know there's a lot of people like me that just love Gen 3 and 4. This card is only $6, and I think it's just so beautiful. It's a beautiful piece. Again, as I said before, since the Scarlet and Violet base booster box is starting to raise in price and stuff, I think that some people may just want to collect the full set, and actually some of these cards will get out of the market. This is $6. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't expect this card to be like $50 at some point in the future. That wouldn't make sense to me. But I think it's a really cute piece. I think it's a kind of a popular Pokemon, more than we think. And I think for $6 is still a great deal. So definitely check this out. In the next spot, we've got Zeraora V from Crown Zenith. What can I say about this card? This card looks absolutely amazing. It's getting a bit pricey right now. You may have to pay $12 to $13, but I think it's still a good, really good pickup. It's no news that Crown Zenith just is going crazy in price. I think we could all expect that because Crown Zenith is Well, it's actually on my top 10 best sets of all time. I think it's one of the best sets we had. And of course, recently, like, we didn't have any set that can really compete with the depth of Crown Zenith, the amount of beautiful cards inside, how fun is it to open actually. And I think they've done a great job. And I think these V-Star cards are absolutely amazing. I love the rainbow light borders. The art, like Zeraora, I really like Zeraora. It's kind of a random cat Pokemon, but I really like it. What we usually see is that when sealed product gets super crazy, people that are just trying to get the master set and to put all these beautiful cards together have actually to pay a premium for opening packs. So what they do is they usually just go to the market and grab the cards. That creates, of course, a higher demand for the cards, and that makes that they actually just rise in price. Of course, at the same time, since there's not so many people opening these packs, so the amount available just gets lower overall in the market, because there are a lot of people that just collect this card and they do not resell it, or they just keep it for their master set, or they grade it and keep it as a part of their collection, which is great. And I think this card is one of the best at this price range, so definitely check it out. Number 9 of this list is Froslass Illustration Rare from Twilight Masq. Twilight Masq is a great set. Apart from having the Greninja SIR that, you know, it's a super big chase card and super desired, I understand, I really love that card. But there's a lot of cool illustration rares behind this card that people just are like not looking at all. And I think there is like a great opportunity to just collect or invest into these cards. We've mentioned before the Pinsir, the Infernape have been in these under $10 videos, and I think now it's turned for Froslass, because this card looks absolutely just amazing. If you can check the moon behind, like, you see through the window a great like night with the stars, you can see the clouds too there. I think this card is so well put together. If you really look at the background and you check the detail and the amount of effort they put into this card, I think it's just a masterpiece, honestly. It's going for about $6, and I think it's a great pickup for the price. We'll go for number 10 in a moment, but I want to tell you that this is not the card I was talking about in the intro. We will mention that number 10, and then I will tell you the extra pick that I think is the best for this price range, and that if you are an old viewer from this channel, you will have seen that this card has been in some of my other videos too. But first, number 10 is Bronzor Illustration Rare from Temporal Forces. What I love about this card is just the colors. You see a Bronzor just looking itself on the mirror. The mirror is actually like Bronzor shaped, which is kind of funny. Same as the Froslass, when I see a card that they have put so much effort like in and it's so well drawn, I just love it. I think it's a great chance to collect some of these cards that right now are super cheap, because like this is $4 near mint, which is absolutely amazing. And you know, I think these cards will be so harder to collect when we get just the next generations, and we see all these illustration rares going up in price, because also the booster boxes will, like the sets when they get out of print. Now Temporal Forces is still affordable for about $170, I would say, $160, $170. But I think that these booster boxes will get pricier when we just switch eras. In about 5 years or something, when we look back, I think we will really appreciate the whole Scarlet and Violet era, because it has been beautiful in terms of illustration rares. The amount of depth we have in every single set, we have like 20, 30, 40 beautiful cards that are actually cheap, which is so good for people to collect. So I think we will just see this era with nostalgia in a few years, and I think this Bronzor is a great pickup too. And the extra bonus, which I think is the greatest card in this price range, and for those of you who have actually stick until the end, it's Scizor Illustration Rare from Obsidian Flames. This card is about $10 to $12 right now. This card has been in a lot of my previous videos, and the reason is that it has always been underrated. Like the PSA 10 version, I've seen sales of the PSA 10 version for 150, 140. It comes from Obsidian Flames, which has amazing pull rates, but not the greatest quality in terms of, you know, like flipping it to PSA and getting a 10 bag. Like that's kind of hard, I have to admit that. But I think this card has crazy potential. For $10, you get a secondary chase card of a set that is actually getting super expensive, because the booster box is about $190, which is crazy to me, honestly. I really didn't expect Obsidian Flames to do that. But since the booster box is getting super expensive, and this is actually one of the best cards inside, because we don't have much going on inside Obsidian Flames, But these and the Ninetales are super underrated, and this is still on the $10 range, so definitely pick one of these up if you can. If you can check the photos, if you see it's in a great condition and you have a chance to get a 10, I would personally submit it because you can get like a $150 card back, so why not? Try your luck. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.